So we all have blind spots. And speaking of vision, there's a glare in my eyes. I don't know that these help with. So I might have my eyes closed a little bit more than usual. And if I had the camera any other way, I think that the glare would be in your eyes. And this theme of blind spots comes up a lot and has this week, working one-on-one with folks. Often when someone's worked really hard at trying to feel better, trying to get rid of suffering, trying to improve the self or the conditions of life, and rightfully so, nobody wants to be in pain. And whether it's around like suffering of separation and being on some sort of a path, or longing to wake up, or being aware that the identity has shifted and trying to find one's way, or whether someone's not on a spiritual path at all and wants to feel less anxiety, wants to feel less depression, wants to feel less conflict in their families, wants to feel healthier in their marriage, in their job. There can be this impulse to heal and to feel better. And not realizing that sometimes we just can't see what we can't see. And by that I mean sometimes there's this belief that I'm in control, I'm responsible for picking myself up and figuring out what's wrong with me. This belief about independence or being responsible. When we come into the world with two eyes and a periphery that if we grew up and the conditions over here were intense and unsafe, or even if they weren't unsafe, if there was a threat of looking here and you had to really focus here to survive, sometimes the blind spot can be bigger. But even if we're just human, we have limitations in our line of vision, and maybe some people will disagree with that. I'm sorry if this is moving. I don't know if I just jiggled that around. Some people might believe that enlightenment and awakening means like transcendent awareness and consciousness and seeing all things all at once. Maybe at some point it can be or could be. I would question that. Because I've been around transcendent people. And their line of vision and knowing did not encompass this experience here. I've never come across anyone that has been able to fully, transparently know me like I know myself, or know other people like they know themselves, and to claim authority over other people feels dangerous. Because I've seen harm happen in that way. I could be wrong on some levels, but that's what I see. And even if you're not seeking that, it feels relevant to just know that it's not even okay to have blind spots. It's just true. And sometimes when we're working with identity and the confusion and the reorientation that happens when we sense that there's nothing solid, concrete, stable, permanent here, it's very disorienting, and we start to work with things and see things and realize that there are some things that we haven't seen or can't see. There might be a force field preventing us from looking back or even turning our heads because it was so unsafe to feel emotion that needed to be repressed, or to engage in somatic awareness of something that happened to the body, or whatever it was. That those blind spots are intelligent and valuable and real, and part of the reason why we need help sometimes to see. Maybe sometimes to function, and other times if there's an awakening to truth, like awakening is shining light, shedding light on the unseen, bringing it to light. And sometimes if the blind spots are such that we don't even know they're there, we need help. And that's not a character flaw, that's just true. And I would say that, what would I say? That is nuanced as well. That is part of the impossibility of talking about awakening in authenticity, because there can be contradictions in everything, and it has to be authentically alive in the moment. And so part of me wants to say that working with blind spots is about the importance of needing help, and it is. But I would also say that feeling empowered is also a big part of this process, and it just depends on what's authentically true as it comes up. And for myself, that has been one of the gifts of my health condition, my body. That sometimes I really need help, and it's not unclear. It's very alive, it's very direct. I can't drive if my vision is unstable, or I need food at a really specific moment, or the body just says, like, yes, this, no, not that. And the awareness of needing help, like in the past there might have been guilt, and of course there's shadows of it still, the conditioning is still, there's scarring of that, if you want to say that, that shows up around, oh, I'm worthless, or I'm a burden, or I'm ruining everyone's lives by needing help, or I need to be helping others, I don't need to be getting help. And that can still show up, but really truly dropping in is a sense of like, yeah, I don't feel guilty at all. This is life asking through me. And there's natural gratitude that arises, and love that arises of just listening to life and seeing life respond, and to see the beautiful help that comes through others and through my family, and not in a like I'm grateful deferential way, but like I'm grateful, deserving. And then on the other side of the authenticity and offering help, how that is part of this process as well, of noticing when help is needed, and what a gift it is to be able to respond. And I feel that when I'm asking for help, that the person helping me, I feel their heart, I feel our connection in that. And their ability to be present, like what a gift to truly be present with someone and engaged in humanity. Giving and generosity is nourishing, self-fulfilling, if it's coming from a place of authenticity, right? Because if it's from a place of pity or ego or obligation, that's not really alive, because that's some separation from the actual just life flowing. I can help right now. Help is needed, and it's happening through me. It's not mine to give, it's life's to express. But if it's coming from obligation or superiority, we feel more separate afterwards. We feel less aligned with truth. And then it feels like that other person is a burden, or whatever it is. And then all of those beliefs and identities get strengthened. And the last piece is asking for help when it's not needed, which is another kind of separation of feeling like I don't have authority, I need authority, I can't help myself, I need someone to show me the way, or I don't feel confident in myself, so I need someone to inform me or educate me. Like, there's so many ways to deflect from our own power. And that's not the kind of help that I'm talking about around, like, the kind of help that can be, what's the word? A catalyst of truth and for truth. Help and helping that moves into just this and moves from just this. And they're all, like, all gradations are part of it, and they happen, and it's not a problem, but we can feel the different flavors. So in the realm of the work that I do with folks, when someone's ready to see in their blind spots, like when they're ready to face what's here, and in a sense ask for help, like, help me see what I can't see. Which, by the way, can happen when we're not asking for help. It can happen, like, in actually, like, life reflecting truth to us through our family or through our interactions. Like, it doesn't have to be sitting down and asking a clinician for help, but I'm just speaking from my experience in this, of, like, how powerful it is. Powerful, like, it doesn't belong to that person. It's like the power of life, of just really feeling and dropping into, like, oh, there's awareness of needing help right now, and then the energy here for me, and when I'm being able to help, what a gift. Like, the gifts that are here that have been cultivated and that have been born into this being able to be applied and being ready to, and then the heartfelt sense of, like, the rightness and the life abundance and that happens when we're aligned with truth. And I feel that way about vocation, of just, like, if the gifts of life and the generosity that you have in your gifts is applied in the way that it wants to be, not the way that it should be applied to this or that, or the way that it wants to be, it's life fulfilling. It's nourishing. It's so nourishing. And it benefits everyone. And we've all been in both roles of needing help and helping. We wouldn't be here if that didn't happen ongoingly, because anyone on this path are probably listening to these kinds of talks is hooked into the sense that we're not separate. We depend on each other, on life. We help. We need help. We can't see what we can't see, but others are there. Other life is there. Life is surrounding us to show us. what's waiting for us when we're ready.